Hey guys, what is up? Hope everyone is having a great day. Happy to be back here with episode 5, part 1 of my golf vlog series, this time at River Creek Country Club. As you can see, I am starting on hole 10 for part 1. This is because they had me start on hole 10 for the round, so I figured that would be the best way to capture the flow of all 18. So, big thank you to River Creek for having me out. The course is in very good condition, especially for this time of the year. It's very challenging too, at over 7,000 yards and a rating of over 74. So I very much enjoyed playing. I look forward to coming back in the peak months rather, later this year. So, not a great drive to start out. Kind of pulled it a bit. Had a 60-degree wedge, kind of lobbed it over that bunker you saw back there. Hit a really good shot. Got it just over that bank and had about 15 feet from my first birdie of the day. Unfortunately, I pulled it pretty badly, so never really had a chance. Looking at things like that, it kind of sucks because I had to read on this. If I could have just made a good stroke, I probably would have gotten a birdie there. So things like that I definitely need to tighten up on as I continue to do this series. So on the hole 11, par 5, 565 yards. Slight dogleg to the right. Just try and aim up the right center and hit a good shot, and I did. Didn't quite catch it perfect. As you can see, the ball speed's down at 201.4, but it did get pretty far because the spin was low, so that worked out. So about 221 yards left. Second shot with a 9-iron. Took a little bit less club than I normally would from this kind of distance because I had a flyer lie, and with my speed, that can really compound things. So I've always had to guard against that. Caught it a little bit flusher than I thought I would, so it spun more and as a result went a little shorter than anticipated. However, that was the miss I wanted because as you can see I have a pretty easy bunker shot back up the hill instead of a slick chip down the hill. So just a little bit of an explosion shot, about 20 yards. Landed it pretty much where I wanted to. Maybe could have hit it a little bit more left of the pin to let the side spin bring it into the hole. But nevertheless, still a very good shot. About 4 feet left, pretty simple right to left putt up the hill. Knocked it in for my first birdie of the day. So already in red numbers, so that's good. Hole 12, par 4, 330 yards with a 4-iron here. Should have hit probably a 6 or 7-iron because the water started at 250 and it was only about 52 degrees here. I did not think I could hit it that far, but as you can see with the carry there, I absolutely nuked this. And I was very, very lucky. I hooked it left because it actually got me around the water. I would have definitely hit this in the water if I hit it completely straight. So you can see the pin there in a little bit of that water sprinkle right there. So good direction, right at it, but it just carried too far. Bounced over the back of the green. That was a really bad miss. Okay, as you can see here, I have a really tough third shot here. Normally I would chip this, but this was a really tight lie into the green. So I just hit a putt just to take out the potential of sculling it or chunking it. Not a terrible putt because it was a very slick green. Maybe another 2 feet. Might have rolled all the way down to that right at the hole. So have about 10 feet left here. A really slick putt. Breaking right to left. Just trying to make a good stroke. And as pure as these greens were rolling, I really felt like I had a lot more control over my destiny when it came to hitting putts. Really good putt there. Just a very, very solid stroke and very good read. Was able to save my par, so that was a good 4. Hole 13, par 4, 420 yards. This bends to the right. The pin was right over those 2 evergreen trees. So I took a pretty aggressive route there. Again, not a perfect strike, but it went straight. And it went where I wanted it to with good spin, so that's what matters most. Now I have 33 yards left. Second shot with a 60-degree wedge. Very easy shot up the hill. Just trying to make a good stroke. Nice and crisp contact with the ball. And that's exactly what I did and released really nicely out to the pin. So I left myself about 2 feet left for a birdie to get to 2 under. So I'll knock that one in. So already 2 under for the day. Pretty clean round so far. On to hole 14, par 3, 170 yards. Pins in the back left shelf. So once again, I have a 9-iron. This time I feel like I can really stick this one close. I was feeling pretty good. Hit it just left of the pin in terms of the direction. I was hoping this would be right on the money, but as you can see with the carry there, it flew about 5 yards too far. Hopefully I can learn to knock the spin down a little more so that the ball flight with my irons will be a little more predictable. But not a terrible lead from 170 some yards. So pretty decent chip here. Wanted to roll out a bit, and then once it started rolling, I actually wanted to stop. Because you can see a ridge there. Ball started getting a little close to that. Once it takes that ridge, it'll roll all the way to the front part of the green. So this is a really tough hole. So just trying to make a good stroke, and just didn't. This is a combination of not a great read and not a great stroke. I think a lot of it's just getting in my own way over the ball. So dropped a shot there. Kind of sucked, but holding hole 15. Volume was up, so you know what that means. Time for a flush iron shot. I know you guys liked it when I turned the volume up on one of the shots from episode 4, so I figured I'd do it again. You guys let me know if you want me to keep doing that in the future. I definitely do like the sound of a well-struck long iron shot. I would have hit driver on this hole, but I just didn't know what was over that fairway, and it's a good thing I didn't, because this green is probably 25 feet at its widest. So this is a very funky little green. You can see the tip of the pin there. It's just a really crazy drop off, so just kind of trying to make sure I don't do anything stupid and just making sure that I hit a good shot. Left it a bit right, but not a terrible shot. I have about 15, 18 feet left, and I had a pretty good beat on this putt. I definitely knew it was breaking right to left a lot and pretty quick, and I really hit a great putt here. And just absolutely perfect putt right there. I was really, really happy to see it go in like that. Gave me a lot of confidence going into the next holes. So back to 2 under, hole 16, par 5, 606 yards, probably playing more like 650 because it was into about a 10-mile-an-hour wind. Another really good drive, 1400 spin. It was good that I kept it low into that wind, so it carried 330 yards. Now I got 273 yards with a 2-iron, and volume up again. Those are definitely my favorite shots to hit. There's nothing quite like peering a long iron at that speed. So, couldn't quite get it to the green. Really got all I could out of those 2 shots pretty much. So, yeah, sometimes I can't reach par 5s in 2 either. Happens. So, got about 15 yards left. Was pretty lucky that I hit it left. And I was aiming at the left edge of the green on my second shot, so that if I did leave it short, it would stay in the fairway. So, not my best chip. Kind of lost track of direction there, but still pretty good touch. Got about a 6 footer, right to left putt. Just trying to make a good stroke, and made a really good stroke and curled it in on the high side. So to 3 under now, playing some great golf so far, especially on a course that's as difficult as this one. Hole 17, par 3, 231 yards. This was definitely probably the hardest hole in the course. Hitting a 4-iron here, just right of the pin, but it does go a bit long, as you can see by the carry. I did not think I'd be able to carry my 4-iron almost 250 yards into the wind at 55 degrees. So really left myself a very, very tough shot here. As you can see, the green's sloping away from me. I don't have much green to work with. If I had to do over, I probably would have hit a 5 or 6 iron and just played to the center of the green to maybe the front part. Hit a tearing flop shot as high as I could, and it landed. And man, I thought this was in. I felt like I got robbed there, and that would have been some hole out. But alas, didn't go in. So I'll have to settle for my par. Definitely a score I'll take from where I left myself on my tee shot. So still 3 under, hole 18, par 4, 440 yards, dog legs right. There is some water on the right too. I was trying to hit it just right at that fairway bunker you see out there. Pulled it just a bit in between those 2 bunkers. Not a bad miss at all. Definitely better than missing right and going in the water. So left myself a little bit left in the rough. 98 yards left. 60-degree wedge. Okay lie. It wasn't the best, but it was definitely better than average. Pin's pretty much right in line with that house you see back there. So I was trying to put a good swing on it, and I just pull it and absolutely nuked it. So I knew the second I hit this was not going to be in a good spot. Just grass grabbed the blade a little bit and pulled it, and that's what happens when you're in the rough sometimes. So third shot, 60-degree wedge. Not the best of lies, so I couldn't really get under it like I did on hole 17. So I had to play a little bit lower flight. You can see it kind of ran a bit more than I'd like. So I got about 10-12 feet left for par. So not the best shot by any means. So I knew this was moving right to left. Had a pretty good feel for the putt. So I was just trying to make a good stroke, and once again, just let whatever happens happen. Just try to make a smooth putt. So put a good stroke on it and broke right in there for a 3-under par 33. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.